and the rabbit hole gets deeper. Hey y'all, welcome to Stars Teen Mentoring YouTube channel. My name is Amy and we are back for another part of this Drake Bell Exposes Nickelodeon series because this stuff has gotten out of control. If you didn't see the first video where I talked about Drake Bell's experience on Nickelodeon, go ahead and click back to that. Okay, so recently, screenwriter and TV producer Dan Schneider, we have all heard that name, especially if you've grown up during the Drake and Josh and iCarly era. You've all seen this before. He was quoted saying that he feels he owes some people an apology. It sounds like he saw the interview with Drake Bell, that watching that documentary made him look at himself like, wow, I was really a jerk, and made him feel bad about it. A lot of people in the comments underneath his interview were saying, oh, well, he's just sorry because he got caught, or he's just apologizing now before he gets charged with violations against children. During the interview that Dan Schneider had, he saw how Nickelodeon stars were recalling their experience, especially with him. And he said that he felt bad about it. He was asking for massages by the staff who was in charge of wardrobe. He would not necessarily be the kindest to the more diverse Nickelodeon stars, or maybe the Nickelodeon stars who were of color. A professional relationship with Dan Schneider was actually described as being in an emotionally abusive or like toxic relationship. Dan Schneider in the interview, it sounded like he admitted to a lot of that stuff. Before the whole situation with Brian Peck, I heard that Dan Schneider wasn't the nicest to work with and that he had extremely bad mood swings allegedly, and that he just made all the kids on the staff feel like they were either put in exploitive positions or made to feel bullied. This is all alleged. I wasn't on any of the sets, so I don't know. And then now we have the parent of Chris Massey coming out. And for those of you who don't know, hold on. So Chris Massey is best known for his role in Zoe 101, and his mom made a post on social media. Pretty much was like, oh, I'm very thankful for the opportunity that Dan Schneider gave my child, and blame the parents, not Dan. I will post it here. We already know which side she's on. Chris Massey followed up with his post, his own personal post on social media that pretty much said, respectfully, give me a chance to tell my story. I will tell it when it's necessary. I will put exactly what he said right here. What do y'all think about that? Chris's mom's pretty much saying, well, if any abuse did happen, it's on the parents. Chris is saying, well, let me tell my story. It sounds like Chris has his own personal story that maybe Mama Dukes doesn't know about. And I'm not saying that Chris Massey's gonna come out and say that he was also abused or mistreated by Dan Schneider, but I am saying that once Chris tells his story, it's gonna kind of override what his mom said about Dan Schneider and how much she was uplifting him. Hi, Mom. Love you too. Anyway, where was I? Mrs. Massey? Mama Massey? I don't think that you should blame the parents. I don't know if y'all know this, but any of you who have ever auditioned for any big TV shows like that, when you're in a room, like, they do separate you from your parents. They do tell you, like, okay, well, your parents gonna wait out here while you show us your talent. And a lot of times the parents will step out of the room because they know that the child is going to be a little bit afraid to be themselves because they know that their parent is their biggest critic. Drake Bell's parents were present through his entire acting career. However, Brian Peck allegedly made little excuses as to why he needed to keep Drake Bell alone. Personally, I didn't like what she said. If you are in a situation where you are trying to be open about what you've experienced, there's gonna be people that are gonna give you pushback, especially when they know that you're telling the truth. All right, so this has been another episode of Stars Teen Mentoring, and I will definitely keep you updated on what's going on because it feels like the water is boiling and it's gonna something's gonna happen. Okay, so stay tuned, and if you have any comments, whether you agree or disagree or anything like that, feel free to let me know in the comments and we can start a little discussion, okay? All right, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!